color. This is the third installment in our Color With Me series, where we are coloring in Animal Wonderland Special with artwork by Kanoko Egusa. The page that we are coloring is this cute little fox in the meadow, and so far we've colored the fox. This is a fur coloring tutorial up on the channel, and we've also colored all of the flowers. And today we're going to move on to the background, and we're going to color the sky, the bushes, and the birch trees. And we're starting with the sky. And the colors that we're going to be using are Prismacolor. We're going to be using powder blue, which is 1023, non-photo blue, which is 911, and true blue, which is 903. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a cloudy sky. And so we're going to be starting with the non-photo blue. Just one moment. I am going to put some card underneath the page so that we don't get any mess. And I'm also going to get a piece of paper to rest my hand on. One moment. Okay, so we are zoomed in, and as you can see, there are areas of sky, but there are also these bushes every so often. So what we want to do is we're going to make sure that we distinguish between the bushes and the sky, and we also want to leave some white areas which are going to be like fluffy clouds. And you can put those white areas at random wherever you like. But to begin with, we're going to use the non-photo blue 919 and just outline those bushy, fluffy clouds. Okay, so here, for example, it's a really small area, so I'm just going to color all of that blue. Okay, so you can just fill in the space with the blue. Okay. Okay, maybe we will, do we want to leave some white there? Maybe. We'll see. Okay, this is also sky, so we'll just fill in that sky. Maybe leave some white there. Just choose some random spots. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, here we have this tree and we have this bush. It's all the bush, but this bit is sky. So let's do that sky. You just have to lay down the color so that you can see what's what. Okay, this too is bush, but this is sky. Okay, and that's bush, this is sky. Okay, but I think we're leaving, yeah, we're making this a cloud. So just do that, okay, and that, and this will be sky. That's also sky. One moment. This is also sky. Okay, take your time, go slowly. Okay, this is bush, which means that's bush too. That's also bush. That's all bush, but sky is here. I think this is sky. Okay, but that is bush. So we're just going to do this. Okay, now what are we gonna do? We've got a cloud there. Do we want to put a cloud here? Let's see. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and then let's do sky, but that's going to be a cloud. Sky. Yeah, let's and just we're just leaving it for now like that. I'm probably going to come back in with more just to shape the cloud, but first I want to see what it's going to look like more or less. Okay. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll start now from this direction. Okay, so here, okay, this is sky, that's bush, that's sky, that's sky. Just light pressure. You can, if you do light pressure, we can always come back and erase if we want. Let me just move my little sticker. Okay, that's bush. This is sky. That's sky. Oh, that's the bottom of a tree. Okay, so this is all sky, but that is a bush. And that's a bush, but this is sky. Okay. This is, do we want to put a cloud? That's bush. This is the bottom of a tree. Let's just put in a cloud there. Okay. That's bush. That's okay. Let's just color all of this blue. But I want this to be a continuation of that cloud. So let's just get an eraser. Okay, so I want this bit here to be cloud as well. So let's actually just erase some of that. It's okay if you've got a little leftover color because it will just make the cloud look more realistic. And let's just do that. So this is going to be our cloud. When we come in with the other colors for shading, it'll look a little better. Okay. Right, and that's a tree, that's bush, that's sky, that's sky. Let's leave that as cloud. Okay, let's put Okay. So that's cloud. Let's put some blue there. We're just shaping the clouds. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's put blue here. Oh, off camera. Sorry. Okay. Okay, we're gonna make our cloud in there. Okay, so that's cloud. Okay, so we're gonna okay, we're just shaping the clouds. We don't want it to be. All right, do I want to leave it like that? Let's do a bit more blue here. Like, get like a, just random, you don't need to have, okay. Maybe I'm gonna go back here and do away with that cloud that I did there. Because clouds are not like complete strips across the sky. So let's just end one cloud there. And then this cloud begins over there. Okay, I actually think I like that. All right, so now we need to shade some more. So we're gonna go in with our next darkest color, which is True Blue 903. Okay, and now we're just gonna put in the shading. Okay, so there. Okay, the shading will be beneath the trees. Okay, make sure to leave the non-photo blue, some of it, so that you can still see it. we're going to go in with one more dark color, which will be indigo blue. One moment. Okay, so it's indigo blue 901, and this is only in the really, really darkest shadow areas. Okay, one second. Just a bit, not a lot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to blend out these colors. So we're going to go in with the 1023 powder blue, and we're just going to blend over everything, but make sure to leave the white for the clouds, okay? Don't go in too far with the powder blue into your white areas. So this is what it looks like now. Keep in mind, it's not going to look like this at the end because once we put in the colors for the bushes and the trees, this is going to look slightly less glowy. Also, it could be that after we've put in the colors for the bushes and the trees, we might go back in and darken up some areas and do a little bit more shading to make it a little bit more realistic. So now we're going to move on to the bushes. Okay, so now we're moving on to these bushes and trees, and as you can see, they are in the distance, and so we're going to be making them look a little bit blurry. Okay, the colors that we're going to be using for this are lime peel 1005, jasmine 1012, marine green 988, green ochre 1091, and French gray 90 1076. This is our deepest shadow, and we will also use a acrylic marker. I'm using the Artline Decorite. Okay, it has a brush nib. It's slightly less opaque than the Langlau, and if necessary, we'll also use a blender pencil. So yeah, let's get going with that. I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, so we're going to start here at the bottom and with a light layer of the lime peel. Okay, leave a highlight every so often. You can just leave them randomly as long as they're not at the bottom where you're going to have your shadows. Light pressure. Okay, right, now we're going in with the jasmine, and we're just going to put this at the top and merge it in a little bit with the lime peel. Make sure to leave your highlights. Okay, next we're using green ochre. So every once in a while you'll see these little squiggles indent. You can put shadows there. So for example, like that. Okay, right, now we're going in with the marine green. We're going back in with our lime peel to blend some of this out. Back in with the jasmine. You can go a little bit into the highlight. Okay, and in the deepest shadows, we're just going to put a touch of the 90% French gray. Let me just sharpen this. Okay, and we're going to blend that out with the green ochre. We're not going to need the blender pencil. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. I don't think we need it. Or should we try it? Maybe we will try it. Okay, let's try the blender pencil. Okay, I have blue on mine from a previous project, so I'm just going to scrape that off. Okay, it's really tiny. I'm going to have to get a new one soon. Okay, this is the Prismacolor blender. You can use any blender. It will tone it down a little bit and make it look a little bit more fluffy. Yeah, actually, I think the blender pencil is doing a good job. Okay. Okay, and now I'm just going to put a little bit of this Artline Decorite to enhance the highlight area, and I'm going to use this and a Q-tip, okay, for smudging. Okay, so you just put it very lightly at the top, okay, over the lines, and smudge. Okay, right, so I'm just going to do the rest of the bushes exactly the same way. just looking down here at this section, this is tree, but this bit in between is bush. So I'm just going to color those in two. It's in the shadow area, so you don't need the jasmine. Okay, so now we are moving on to these trees. They're a little bit more in the foreground, so we can make them slightly darker, and we're going to use a different green combination, but a couple of, one shared color with the bushes. So we're going to use the lime peel again for the base. Okay, then we're going to use dark green, 908, apple green, 912, chartreuse, 989, and our shadow color is going to be warm gray 90. Okay. Now these trees are, I suppose they're supposed to be pine trees, so they've got these branches that stick out. So we're going to try and get that effect, that pine tree kind of effect. But again, they're in the distance, so it can be a bit blurry. Don't worry, even if you don't get that effect, don't worry. I might not even get that effect. We're going to try. Okay, and the way I'm going to try and do it is by making my pencil strokes go in that direction. Our next color is dark green, okay? I'm doing flicking motions because pine trees have needles. You just want to get like an impression of the effect. You don't need to be very exact because these trees are in the distance. apple green. So we're going to put this on top of the dark green and go a little bit further out. Again, try and get those needle style strokes. Now we're going to go in with the 90% warm gray in our shadow areas. So it's going to be very lightly under these pines, but keeping the highlight, and we're going to blend it out. So don't worry if it looks a little bit messy at first. We're going to blend that out with the dark green. All of these layers will start making the tree look bushy and full. Okay, so we're going to go in now with chartreuse. This is our highlight color, okay? So it's only going to be at the top. Okay. Back in with the apple green. We're only going to put this where the dark green and the chartreuse meet to get a blend. Okay. Okay, I want to darken up the shadow over here because everything looks great except for this one section here. So I'm just going to darken up with the 90% warm gray. Yeah, I'm just going to darken up the shadow here. Maybe put in a little bit more. I'm thinking it's going in the wrong direction. Yeah, let me just get an eraser. Okay, so here I've made a mistake. I've put the strokes in this direction to match this, but it shouldn't. Should be that direction to match this. So I'm just going to erase this bit. Okay, and this is why layering is good, because I can now fix that. Okay, so we're gonna go in with our dark green just to get the pine needles to go in the right direction. So I want them to go this way, not that way, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's better. Let's... let them out. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Yes, much better. Oh, yes, much better. I do think let's just blend them out a bit more. Okay. Oh, yes, very nice. Okay, so that is our tree. I'm just going to do the same for this one and this one. Okay, so now we are moving on to these beech trees, and for these trees we've got a couple of colors. We've got light umber 941, we've got French gray 30% 1070, we've got warm gray 50 1054, warm gray 90 1058, lime peel 1005, pale sage 1089, black, I'm not sure I'll use this one, 935, powder blue, not powder blue, this is cloud blue, 1023, espresso 1099, and a white gel pen. Okay, so I'm just going to color a couple of these together with you, and then I'll do the others speeded up. So let's do these two. Let me just get a piece of paper to rest my hand on. 1 second. Okay, so we're going to start with the light umber, And what we're going to do is we're going to put a light layer of this down the right-hand side of the tree, but we're going to leave a little bit of white along the right-hand edge. Okay, so just like that. If you do that, it'll make the tree look round. Okay, please forgive the slurping dog. Okay, there we go. Okay, and a little bit under the overlapping flower stem. And here you can go right up to the tulip because it's a shadow. Here too. Right. Okay. And let's do this one too. Here we go, right under the tree head. And then leave white on the right. Okay. Basically, birch trees are white. Well, they have like a whitish, grayish bark. But I don't think that's going to look that good with our color scheme. And also we can make them look whitish even with brownish grayish colors. Okay, now we're going to go in with our French gray 30%. Okay, and we're just going to blend out this little edge of the light umber and go into the highlight, but just a really small amount. Make sure to leave white on the edge there. Okay. Right, light pressure. Okay, and here too. Okay, next we're going to use warm gray 50%, and we're only going to put this on the right edge. Okay, try to leave some of the umber still there. Okay, it's just like a shadow, and then round the areas that require shadows. Okay. Right. So into the shadow area there and here, and round this tulip. Okay. We're almost done with this page. I'm quite impressed. All we've got left is the meadow and the tree stumps. Okay, right, now we're going in with the 90% warm gray. This is our deepest shadow color. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to put it around the areas that need shadow, like there, and we're going to put it very lightly into these white areas, because if you've seen birch trees, they have like these black, gray stripes to them, but we want to leave a highlight at the top of each one of these. So only put this on the bottom of each one of these, I don't know what it would be, markings. Okay, make sure to leave a highlight in them. Okay. Here too. Okay. A little bit of a shadow under there and over there. And around this flower. Okay. Right. Now we're going to go in with the lime peel. Okay, and with a very, very light hand, just go over where the original 30% French gray was, but make sure to leave that highlight, but very lightly, just like a touch of this color. Not much at all. Okay, it will just give it a green that will merge in with the other greens on the page. But very, very light touch. Okay, right, and now we're going to blend that out with the pale sage. So very lightly. Okay. Right, and now we need our gel pen. Okay, so what we're going to do with the gel pen is we're just going to put this on the edges of the tree. It'll make them look white. But before then, I just want to color these this section here. One second. It's we're going to take the 30% French gray. Just put that in, and then the light umber. And the 50% warm gray. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Right, that's enough. Okay, so with the, make sure that it's flowing, and then just on the edge here. Can even put some into the highlight area. Oh, I've messed that up. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get. Okay. Let's take our lime peel and just fix that. Oh, there we go. Okay, you have to be careful to get a thin. Yeah, there we go. A thin line. Don't worry about if you make a mistake with the gel pen. It's acrylic, so it can always be scraped off. Okay, down here as well. Okay. Let's do this branch too. Warm gray, light umber, and 50% warm gray. And then the gel pen. I love these Languel pens. They flow so beautifully. There's no stopping and starting, struggling to get the gel pen to work. Ooh, let's do this one too. Ooh, hold on. Okay. I had this idea of using the cloud blue to lighten up, to darken up that white, but I think I'm going to leave it. Okay, so there you have it. You have your birch trees. Now I'm just going to speed up the video and color the rest of them. So those are our birch trees. Oh, I'm very pleased with the way they came out. Okay, moving on to the canopy of trees, we're going to make them look like this. As you can see, I've added leaf shapes, which we will incorporate into the canopy because I looked at birch trees and they have leaves that look like this. I just want to note that if you have the Symphony of Cute Animals book, then this canopy is not included. So it's only in the Coloring Heaven Animal Wonderland special that has this canopy. If you don't have the canopy, then you can just skip ahead to the next section where we do the meadow itself. Okay, let's get started. Starting with Pale Sage 1089, we're putting a light layer of this over the entire section, including the leaves that we've drawn. You can just make any random leaf shapes you like. Okay. Right, moving on to Kelly Green 1096. Okay, we're going to leave our leaf shapes and we're just going to put this color around. Okay, just you can circular motions. Okay, leave a highlight on the bottom. Okay, Marine Green 988. Okay, only at the top and around the leaves to give some shadow. Okay, Lime Peel 1005. Okay, blend out the marine green into the Kelly green. And you can go a little bit into the highlight areas. Okay, we're going to add some color to our leaf shapes. So back to Kelly Green. Okay. Espresso 1099 around the leaf shape. Darken up shadows. Okay, and then again with the marine green to blend that out. You can also put some of the marine green into the leaves, just a touch. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the white gel pen. I am using the Languau P600B and just go over the edges of the leaf and put like a little vein in the middle. If you don't like this step, you can leave it out. Okay, now we want to deepen up our shadows a bit more, so I'm going to use a watercolor brush. Okay, so that kind of tip, all right, and a Q-tip, right, and all we do is in the darkest areas put some, and then immediately blend it out with the pen. with the brush. I mean, with the Q-tip, sorry. Okay. Back in with the marine green and just blend it a bit more. Okay, there we go. And you just continue doing the rest of the canopy, which I will do a bit speeded up. Right, so that is what our page is looking like right now, and in the next video we're going to do the grass, the tree stumps, and the moss, and I think that'll be the end of this page. I think we have made quite a lot of progress. So see you for the next one. Bye for now.